Hello, it's Wendi and Cros here for another race update here in Hobart. And it's another beautiful, sunny, warm day here, which is lovely. Our biggest update, of course, is the Line Honours winners. Right behind us here, we have Master Lock Comanche that took the win yesterday evening. And it was one of my favourite Hobart finishes ever.
Fantastic.
For multiple different reasons. One, because it was during daylight.
That's a big start.
Yeah. They crossed the line at about 6 p.m. 3:06, wasn't it? 6:03?
Yep, 6:03, yep.
Yeah, there we go. And they came at speed, they were flying about 20 plus knots, which was fantastic to see. So because it was also during the day, during daylight, it wasn't at 3 a.m. in the morning, we also had spectators everywhere. The spectators on every arm of the dock here. The race village was absolutely packed full of people.
Yeah.
And also on the water.
Yep.
It wasn't just media boats out there and helicopters. There were all these spectator boats following Comanche as they crossed the finish line.
And plenty of rock and roll too while you're on trying to film and going all over the place.
It was pretty wild out there, actually.
Yeah.
But lots of fun. Yeah, I got absolutely soaked by a wave. Came back to the media office, looked like I jumped in the water.
Straight into the interviews and not even blink.
Yeah. So it was a fantastic finish. And of course what made yesterday so special as well was how many boats came in after them. So very quickly after them came Law Connect, then Scallywag, then Lucky, and of course Palm Beach. So it was really great to have them one after another coming through. And we got to go, Cros and Jake were going around catching lots of live footage of those interviews of the sailors coming onto the dock. So we also do have to apologise. We had a bit of sound issues yesterday.
It was unfortunate, was it? We were all out there doing so much stuff. It was only when we got back to check it all that we realised we'd got a few sound issues. But
yeah, our mic was spiking. But if you can look past that, there were some really great interviews and some good insights of what the race was like from our sailors' perspective. So, Cros, what was your take on yesterday?
Look, it was gorgeous. It really was gorgeous, wasn't it? I mean, just watching Comanche arced up, coming all the way up the river in about 3 jibes from the Iron Pot, and absolutely ripping, big A sail on, full main, fully arced up on her side, absolutely blasting to the finish there. It really was sensational. There were some extraordinary stories coming out of those interviews with the various people. Probably the most remarkable was talking to Crackers, Tim Wiseman, who's foredeck and has been for many years on that boat through Woxie and various other places as well. And you may have gathered at some point that Palm Beach ran into some old unused crab pots, I think, with all the netting around them. And they literally brought them to a halt. They hit it at about 16 knots, which would have put the brakes on pretty fast. And worse still, it sort of wrapped around the keel and around the board, the dagger board, so there was no way they were going to be able to sail on. Anyway, apparently the only way to get it off was to get into some slightly lighter water. Crackers gets lowered down on a halyard onto the keel and hacksaws off one side because they've got the keel canted up. Then they put the boat up straight, then they put it up over the other side. He gets up over the other side, and then he hacksaws the rest of that, all in about 20 minutes.
Unbelievable.
And the thing that's amazing about these guys is they're so unassuming, It made it sound like, that's what you do when you're a four-decker, Incredible. So lots of other really good stories. I think one of the big things for them was, again, in Bass Strait, when the seas are confused, is these big 100-footers are just too powerful in a sense. They have to back off. So Richard Clark, who was the famous Canadian who was on Master Lock Comanche, was saying they had a sort of 16-knot speed limit because if you go any faster than that, it really is boat destroying. And a lot of the other guys said, they just had to wind it back in that really heavy stuff. And then fantastic watching them all grouped up down the coast there and coming in with really the breeze just suiting Master Lock very well.
Yeah, it was exciting because it could have gone either way depending on winds, so they timed that very well. So, now, upcoming, of course, is still IRC overall winners and, of course, many division winners as well. The winners keep changing. There's obviously a lot of happening weather-wise.
They're called clubhouse leaders. So in each division, basically what that means is, for those not familiar with it, in each division there's a boat that looks the most likely based on time and distance and the other boats coming in. But those other boats have got to actually make up those miles. So yes, that always changes at this point in the game, even though this is a lot later than it normally would be. But and the general press who don't know about sailing very much get completely confused about all of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were lots of questions yesterday of, what time do you think they're going to cross the line? And
Good luck with
it's
that one.
anybody's guess. So yeah, how are things looking for our fleet that are still out to sea?
Yeah, so first of all, Celestial came in, Celestial V70, Sam Haynes' Volvo boat came in, what do we do this morning, Jakey? I think about 6 o'clock this morning we got them in. Oh God, that must be just so soul destroying. They come down the coast, they come into the river at 12:30 at night, and they finish at 6 in the morning. And I think one of the things people feel is, well, look, they've had all the really hard stuff and they must be fine. But actually, if you're in IRC and you want to win IRC overall, the hardest bit is those 6 hours. And you listen to Sam Haynes talking about countercurrents and breezes coming from different directions, and you realise that's 6 hours of full-on concentration from some of the best sailors in the world. Anyway, they came in, they're holding their division. They are still, I think, possible for IRC overall, but then all of the other ones are moving around. So IRC overall at the moment, and you would excuse me for a moment while I just quickly go through a few here. IRC overall has moved to Love and War, the beautiful old Spartan and Stevens 47-footer. And she's winning on various divisions, PHS and Corinthian and goodness only knows what. Remains to be seen, because what's interesting is behind her from 2nd to 8th on IRC overall are all double-handers. And it'll be very interesting to see if we see a double-hander win this, because there'll be a lot of people who'll be very dirty about that. But it's the same in the Fastnet and everything else as well. So that's pretty full on. Just going down quickly through a few of the divisions. Excuse me, my book's blowing all over the place.
Let me hold that for you.
Yep, thanks. Div 1 Smuggler, Div 2 MRV, Div 3 KDI, Div 4 Jinan Victorian Boat, Div 5 double-hander BNC Minet, Div 6, I'm sort of a bit confused about Div 6, we'll have to find out about that. It's Love and War as well. And the Cruiser Racer division, the new one, is Sumatra IRC. Just very quickly, double-handed IRC Verite, and PHS Corinthian Wild Oats, the lovely old Iowa boat, IRC Grand Veterans Love and War, and amongst the others, Cyan Moon in PHS, and the Sydney 38 Mondo. But if you really want to see the full results as they clock over and change all the time, you can go onto the site and have a look at those.
The official Rolex Sydney Hobart website has all the standings and tracker, which is fantastic, keeping us updated. So yesterday we got some great feedback from Cros's chat with John Curnow. So we may be doing another one to chat about the different weather patterns and how they're impacting those fleet coming through, to help us sort of estimate who might take IRC overall.
Make
and other
speculative
divisions.
guesses like everybody else. People do the numbers and then we all have to caveat it by saying, however, that could all change.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that pretty much wraps us up for today. Also need to let you know that Jake and I will be sadly travelling back to Sydney this evening, so this will be my last race update for this year. It's been such a great year, and a thank you to everyone who's made our time here just so enjoyable and welcoming. And but don't fear, Crosby and Dale will still be here for the next couple of days, capturing the fleet, as many of the fleet as they can before they head back.
Yes, indeed.
Fantastic. Well, we'll see you soon.
Bye for now.